Hello everyone, this is Martin and I'm presenting to you another video for this upcoming week. We're talking about the week from June the 27th to a glorious July the 1st, which falls on this Friday. And for anyone that has forgotten, July the 1st is Canada Day right here in Canada. So a lot of celebrations going on. There'll be a holiday, of course, and for those people who are getting this video who do not live in the Toronto area or overseas, because I know I am getting a lot of subscribers in countries outside of Canada. Well, Canada Day is a big deal here, and we're celebrating our nation as we're celebrating our country as a new nation, and so that's quite the something for us. So, anyways, welcome everyone to this video. We're going to take a look at the trading opportunities, and first of all, I have to start off by saying the big Brexit vote on Thursday, the June the 23rd. That was the big vote in the UK where the general population had a referendum vote on whether they were going to stay within the European Union or withdraw or exit the European Union, as they say, and it was nicknamed the Brexit vote. You know, Britain exiting the European Union. And surprisingly, and I think it did surprise a lot of world leaders, a lot of people around the world thought for sure that UK would most likely come to its senses and stay within the EU. And I myself was a little bit disturbed by the fact that they decided to leave. I don't know if you know it, but here's a little known fact about myself. I was born in England. I was born in the UK, Northern England, in the county of Yorkshire, in a little town. Well, it's not so little anymore, but it's a town or a city called Bradford, which is in North Yorkshire, and so I have some ties to English tradition and everything else. But like the younger people in Great Britain, I would have voted to have stayed within the European Union. I think the benefits far outweigh the negatives. And here's the interesting fact. Okay, and we're gonna take a look at the British pound and talk about that in a second. But here's an interesting fact. I don't think the vote was quite fair, and the reason is when the polls broke down the population there, all the people between the ages of 18 and 35, that's the younger population, more than 75% of those people in that age group voted to stay within the EU. And surprisingly, people over the age of 65, only 61% of those people over the age of 65 decided to leave or exit the European Union. And so there's a huge difference in population and their values and their beliefs and what they were hoping to accomplish. So, just because there's not, just because the voting population of the age group, the younger age group, is not large enough. That is why they did not win. And I mean, the vote was fairly close to begin with, right? 52% wanting to get out, 48% wanting to stay in. So the vote's fairly close, but there's the breakdown. It's the younger population that wanted to stay, the older population above the age of 65 wanted to leave. And there you go, history is made. And that translates to some tremendous forex volatility. Price really jumped like a yo-yo on Thursday and Friday, especially Friday. And let's take a look first at the Euro USD. Okay, here's the weekly chart, so you can see right away we have broken the week has broken the upper channel here. We're broken to the downside, and this is the weekly bearish engulfing candle. So we obviously can see where price is going to go next. Let's switch to the daily. Here you can see the daily chart, and you can see what happened on the last day of trading. So this candle here represents the last day of trading after the Brexit vote, and the total movement. I mean, price started way up here, okay, went down all the way down here. That was about 467 pips, and then ended up here. With a loss of 293 pips on that particular day. Now, where do I see price going? I actually do see price going down further. However, um, my recommendation is wait for a pullback first. I've drawn in a red rectangle, so I would like to see price actually come higher and then somewhere in this area and then look for selling opportunity to the downside. So eventually we're going to get back down to here and look to your left, retest the previous lows here. Okay, so I do see selling opportunity, but I would kind of just wait for price to pull back first and then look for selling opportunity. Now, the next few days, when once trading opens up again on the Sunday evening here in the Toronto area, Sunday and Monday, I think price is going to be pretty volatile. Perhaps all of next week, we may still get a lot of volatility. So just beware. But this is what I'm looking for in the short term of things. You know, for price to go down lower, but wait for a pullback first. Okay. Okay, now this is the British pound USD daily. You can see obviously this is the big loser of the week, and let's take a look. Price went up to here and then dropped all the way down here to for 1,628 pips. You can read that there beside the crosshair tool. Okay, you can read it. And then price went up and it closed right here with a 1,196 pip loss. So the interesting thing is look at the trading week. Okay, let me just move this here. Here's the vertical line. This represents the close of the previous week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do it that way there. Okay, so the beginning of last trading week, we had a up day and then another huge up day. Couple of sideways went up even higher. So you can see kind of this false sense of security. Price, the big boys, I guess, the hedge funds, the investment houses, and the banks bringing price all the way higher, higher, higher. I think there was some false optimism there, but then all of a sudden it crashed and went down like a rock. Now, what do I expect for this week? Well, I expect price to eventually go lower, a little bit lower to again retest some lows. However, I'm waiting here, waiting for a pullback. You see, I've drawn in this red rectangle. So I would want, before I take another sell trade, I would want price to come back up to this zone here. Here you can see with this candle on Friday, price is broken through the support, and when price is below, this is now resistance. So former support becomes new resistance. So I expect price to come back, retest this area, and then you can look for sell opportunities. So you can look for a reversal bearish candle once the pullback is finished, right? Again, do not trade this on. I mean, it's possible on Sunday, Monday trading, the opening of this trading week, price may go down a wee bit lower, maybe a lot lower, and then the volatility will shoot it right back up. So again, you can decide. You can even become a counter trend trader for the next couple of days, but just be careful. So I think price is going to come down further, but I would wait for a pullback first, okay? And now we get to the Australian USD. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to share with you a bit of just a little bit of a tip. You see, price here has jumped really high, obviously, prior to the Brexit vote. Price then went down all the way and closed right here. So I believe price is going to come down lower. Right now, price is above the 50 SMA. You can see the blue line. Okay. Um, but however, the 8 and the 21 EMAs are following up and trying to push price higher. However, based on the Brexit vote and this coming down, I believe what price is going to come down just a wee bit lower. So you might want to wait for clarity first. Wait to see if price comes down lower and see if price actually pushes back up and bounces off the 50 or even lower here and goes higher. And the reason is we are in a right now, sideways volatile market. I mean, anything can happen over the next few days or this week. Okay, so again, wait and see if price comes down lower, bounces higher. It depends what type of trading you want to do, but I believe it's going to come down lower in the short term because take a look, the 50 SMA, see how it's angling down, right? It's not sideways, it's not angling up, it's angling down. So I believe price is going to be drawn like a magnet down to this area again, possibly back down to here, and then you can look for buying opportunity. Okay, but that's my take on that. And now we go to the New Zealand USD. Now, this one's a little bit um, different than the other pairs, even though we had a huge down day on Friday with this big black bearish candle. This is the daily chart of the New Zealand USD. You can see that price did bounce. It did come down all the way, bounced all the way off this lower trend line. And I want you to note something very, very important. Overall, we are trending higher. Okay, we are trending higher on the daily chart, and you can certainly see that price is still above the 8 moving average, above the 21. Both of these are above the 50, and the space is widening. And this is an example of what's called a clear defined uptrend. However, because of what's happened on Friday, I mean, all bets are off right now for price to immediately jump higher. Here you have to wait and see. So here, if price comes down lower, it may come right back to this area or this area. We have an area of confluence with this gray rectangle, which is now support. We have the 21, we have the 50 down here. So remember, the markets are very volatile now, and you kind of want to wait and see. But I kind of think that price may not right away jump higher. I don't know. We kind of want to wait and see. So either price is going to come down further and bounce higher, okay, like this. Either price is going to come down and then bounce higher, and then you can look for buying evidence to the upside. And this is really what you really want, because once price comes down to this area, your stop loss would be just below here, indicating that your stop loss is fairly small with regards to the profit potential. So if you can get if you can get in here somewhere, then your profit potential would be way back up here again. So certainly your risk to reward would be a very good idea and very wise if you took a trade down here once we have some buying evidence, right? Or just wait for a breakout higher. But this is what I see. We are trending higher on this pair, okay? And now, oh, let's take a quick look. Yeah, as you see, I still believe, because this is an engulfing candle here, I believe price is going to come down lower. That's what I would be looking for. And let's take a look. Okay, we can actually draw on a trend line. So I believe price is going to come back down to about this area. Uh, and that would be around the 70. Take a look on the right side. 70, 28, 70 area right there. If price comes down here, then look for buying evidence to the upside. Now we get to the US CAD, and US CAD rocketed up higher. Let's see how many pips on Friday. Well, in total, 375, closed with 268 pips higher. Mainly because with the weakness in the British pound and the euro, I mean, and the fall in the stock markets. I mean, the stock markets all took a major hit on Friday. So people were putting their money into the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar obviously benefited, and so it went higher. I believe this is actually going to go higher right now. Price is closed above the 50, above the 21. So I believe price is going to go higher. I mean, here's the next natural area of resistance. You can see that with the rectangle. And however, and I've drawn in this trend line. So price really, you could either look for a bit of a buying opportunity right now, almost immediately, or wait for price to retrace just a wee bit, and then like pull back and then take a buy opportunity, or with buying evidence, you would take a buy trade, or wait for price to break above this area right here. So you would want price to break above 131.20 for price to go higher in the short term. I believe price is most likely to go all the way to this 200 moving average. So if you can get in here, there's room for another 200 pips higher. Okay, but again, depends on what type of trader you are. You may want to wait for pullback and then look for buying evidence, because right now we are close to a resistance area. Okay. Let's take a look at the LEOD. You can see the LEOD did close higher above the top yellow line. Let's expand the bottom here. You can see the histo bars are still below zero, so I would wait for either a pullback and then higher, or wait for a breakout. The histo bars are getting smaller, which is what we want. We want them to become smaller and go to the zero level, or even rise above zero for confirmation that price is going to continue going higher. And the RSI, you can see just touching the 55 level right here. So the RSI blue line is above the yellow sentiment line. So that means there is momentum to the upside. And again, depends on what type of trader you are, and depends what your entry criteria is. But it looks like we are going to be trending higher just because of what's happened with the Brexit vote. The US Swiss franc is a different kettle of fish altogether. Okay, let's take a look at this pair. Here, of course, we had a huge rise in price because of the Brexit vote, which is basically, strength coming into the US dollar. Look at this, after long periods of sideways action, not going anywhere, and then finally we had this rocket ship shoot up to the high side. um, so I believe price generally is going to go higher, but I would wait. And right now, you see price has still not closed above the 50. Okay, and that's important. I would want price to close above the 50 first before I decide on taking a buy trade. But at the same time, look at that. We've got the 100 moving average with the blue line. We've got a major area of resistance with this gray rectangle. Uh, so we've got a lot of different things indicating resistance, near-term resistance, and I would want to kind of wait for a breakout above all of this right here. So this to me is a wait and see situation. I mean, price may come back down a little bit lower, and then you could look for selling evidence to the ups. I mean, I'm sorry, buying evidence to the upside if you want to take a counter trend trade. But I mean, that's up to you. Um, there's no real trend here. We're still in a sideways mishmash. Take a look at the MACD. The histobars are becoming slightly smaller toward the zero, but again, they're well below zero. So this is a wait and see situation. Okay. Finally, we get to the US Japanese pair. This is the daily chart, and you can see price dropped down like a bomb all the way down here. Let's take a look at that movement on Friday. In total, it went down 734 pips, which is a major move, and it settled losing 428 pips. So that's a major drop. Price also, you can see this is a bearish engulfing candle, engulfs the previous Thursday completely. It also breaks the trend line or the channel here, the bearish channel. So I believe price is going to go down further. However, like everything else, I would wait to see if price pulls back first. I've drawn in this red rectangle. So if price can go anywhere higher to at least retest the trend line, retest the previous lows here, even as far as the upper red line on this rectangle. I mean, that's what you want to do, is just wait for a pullback and then look for selling evidence to the downside. Now, the good news is we are trending lower. This is a trending pair right now. You can see price is well below the 50. The moving averages are below the 50. They're in the right order being the 8 below the 21 below the 50, and we've also broken support here. So basically, the pair is trending down. We do want to only consider sell trades at this point in time, but we are waiting for a pullback first. Okay, and finally, we're going to look at a couple of cross pairs that you may want to consider as well. Okay, take a look at this one. This is the daily chart of the British pound New Zealand dollar. You can see this huge major drop. Now, usually after a major drop like that, price does retrace back. And so obviously, I think price may come down a wee bit more, but I believe price this coming week is going to go higher. Then you can look for selling opportunities to the downside. But the interesting thing is this could be a great counter trend move. And what you want to do is you may want to switch to your 4-hour charts, your hour charts. If you're trading intraday, you trade on lower time frames. But look for a reversal candle first. So that's the first thing. See one reversal white bullish candle, and then possibly get in right away. And hopefully you can make some pips on a counter trend trade. Okay, and finally we've got this is the Euro CAD. Look at this. This is just crazy, wild sideways action. Let me take a look, see what else we got here. Um, Again, same thing. This is New Zealand, Japanese yen. So again, huge down move. This is just going to go sideways. I think possibly going to go higher. Maybe good for a counter trend. But you see, there's no real trend on this one. To me, this doesn't look like a great pair at all. Anyways, you can take a look at the British pound cross pairs, the Japanese cross pairs, to see if there are counter trend trades to be taken, or just wait because we know obviously the British pound is going to get weaker in the near short term. Just wait for pullbacks and continuations of their overall trending lower moves. Okay, and that's it for now. We're going to get together on Tuesday evening for our first monthly meeting for a group here that we're starting up in the Toronto area. And I look forward to meeting quite a number of you people. If you have any questions, you can email me. I'll be more than happy to answer. Take care. Happy trading, but be careful because of all the volatility for this coming week. Okay? I expect that to continue. Take care. Bye for now.